All right, what's up, good peoples? Welcome to Relationship Thursday. Welcome to Relationship Thursday. Give us 1 second. Welcome to Relationship Thursday. We hoping that y'all are have had a good Thursday. Happy Friday Eve. We in the
Hey
house. We are
everybody.
in the house, and we about to get rocking and rolling.
What's going on, y'all? Hope everybody is good on this Relationship Thursday. I hope that you are feeling well. And I hope you're not being silent.
Hmm.
Because that's what we are talking about tonight, y'all. We are talking about the silent treatment. Yes,
Graham
it's
said Friday Junior.
Friday Junior. It's Friday Eve up in this joint. We talking about the silent treatment. And what's the official title tonight, Aisa?
I don't know what it is, but it's something around the silent
What?
treatment. No, I don't know.
You made up the title.
Actually, here it is right here. It's how the silent treatment hurts your relationship.
How the silent treatment hurts your relationships. Everybody, tonight we're going to be talking about that because some folks, y'all do this and you don't even recognize that you're doing it. You just defaulting into defense mechanisms and ways of being that do not serve you, that do not serve your boo, and they do not serve your relationship. And so tonight we're going to talk specifically about this silent treatment situation. But I just want to first say, I hope that you know whether you are watching this live on replay on YouTube or you're in the Zoom room, I hope that you know a little something about what's it called? Overcoming generational curses in Black relationships 5-day challenge. That is happening next week. So go to blamchallenge.com, BLAM challenge.com. It's every day next week. It is 5 beautiful days of us not just talking. Can you move this over here? Because why does keep saying that? Not just talking about and looking more closely at the generational curses that, or not just the obvious ones, but the sneaky ones that we don't even recognize we're carrying, and we are proliferating and pushing forward in our way of being and in our relationships and in our families. But also we're going to talk about our generational strengths. And we're going to talk about the things that we stand on that we sometimes don't even pay attention to. The goal, though, y'all, is to really focus on the funkiness in ourselves and in our relationships, get our communication stronger, get our conflict management under control, pay attention to all the things we need to pay attention to. What's up, YouTube? Now I see y'all. So go to blamchallenge.com, BLAM challenge.com, and be in the room.
Yeah, and
Hair wrap looking kind of special. Why ain't you
it
telling me
look
like
good,
this?
bro. Like what you
It's a
talking
little
about?
crooked. It's a little
And,
special.
and let me say this. I would encourage you to upgrade to VIP as well. We have 2 amazing after parties. We're going to be having a convo with the fellas, just talking about what it looks like to create a safe space for men. And then for the ladies, we're going to be talking about boundaries. And so you'll get access to those 2 after parties. If you upgrade to VIP, you also get a plethora of resources, y'all. A plethora of resources, whether it be the communication and connection chart, the affirming cycle, money matters in love, whatever it may be. Like we have a number of things that you can get access to that will actually help you in your relationship today. And then you also get a workbook. You get a workbook that will be utilizing during the course of the challenge. So upgrade to VIP, and your experience will be more better. You also get access to study hall too, where you can actually come and ask us questions on a daily basis. So we here, y'all. We here to support you, and we trying to disrupt these generational curses and stand on generational strengths.
All right, y'all. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. We're talking about the silent treatment tonight.
Were you asking for this?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I guess it's pointed, huh? We're talking about the silent treatment, and we're going to first start off. I just want to kind of survey the room. I want to know how many people, like you're a professional at the silent treatment. Let's just tell the truth, shame the devil tonight. You're a professional. Some of y'all, this ain't even coming down your lane because you don't even know how to be quiet. So I'm not talking to you. I'm talking about the people who go to a place of silence, get quiet, withdraw when there's tension, when there's an argument, when y'all are, you're like, I'm just not about to be dealing with you right now. You may not even decide, but you just be getting quiet. If you are a pro, that's just what you do, whether you want to, you mean to, or not. Tell us on YouTube. Is that what you be doing in the Zoom room here with the Blamily? Is that what you be doing? I'm curious. If this is something that you find yourself doing, we're going to start off tonight, and we're going to share with you the message, or at least some possible messages you are sending your partner when you don't talk. So many of us, we focus on y'all have heard this before in the Blamily, we focus on just trying to keep ourselves together. We just trying to make things right. We just want things to blow over. We just don't want to pop off. So we just trying to keep ourselves, from saying the wrong thing. So we're all in our lane and all in our head about what we're doing, but we don't recognize the impact that we're having on our partner. And so there are some things that we message to our partner, even if we don't mean to. We have an impact. We have an impact. So the first thing, this is in no particular order.
So let me ask you this. So you're saying some things that we message if we're given the silent treatment, but I'm
Because some
curious
people
to
don't feel
know.
like it's a problem. They're just like, yeah, that's what I do sometimes. Like, and what?
So it's a couple of things. So, you are messaging something when you give the silent treatment, but what I'm curious to know is how does it feel on the flip side when you get the silent treatment?
Well, we're going to get there, but I'm
We
going
can
to
get
start
there?
with the
Okay.
message.
All right, cool.
I just want to give you a few things because I think it's going to be helpful for some people to know that this is what you are possibly sending when you don't speak to your partner. Your partner sometimes feels like you are saying to them, you don't deserve my words right now. You are using silence as a weapon. You don't deserve to be talked to. I'm irritated with you. I'm pissed with you. So you are using silence as a weapon for some of you. You really are trying to say that. Oftentimes, for the person who's on the receiving end, they feel like you're letting your pain and your anger build a wall. And what you're essentially saying is, "I'm too hurt to talk to you. I'm too hurt to talk to you. It's too much. I'm just not dealing with you." For many of you, and I'm talking about a lot of y'all, and if I can just be honest tonight, this be getting on my nerves. And some of y'all be getting on my nerves with this.
What?
This be getting on my nerves, and some of y'all be getting on my nerves with this. You expect for your partner to understand, to read your mind without saying a thing. Oh, when you get quiet, oh, he know now. He know what time it is now. So what you were saying is, I need you to read my mind. Because now I'm walking around with a certain energy, a certain tone, and I'm quiet. They might know something is off, but you want them to know all the way. You want them to read your mind. Can't nobody read your mind. That's the message that you're sending. Oftentimes, a lot of folks are sending the message, I'm waiting for you to make the first move. I'm not saying anything. I'm just going to be quiet. Maybe your feelings are hurt. Maybe you didn't like the way that they said something or some energy that, your partner brought your way. I don't know. But you're playing the waiting game and you're waiting for them to say something. I was in a session earlier today, and this wife that I was speaking with, she was just talking about how her and her husband were in a good place for some days, and then like, dang, like she said, he did it again. He goes into this place where he takes us to a place of being like disconnected and like, you know what I mean, like he's in a mood, and now I'm tired of that. I'm tired of trying to figure out where he at, what's going on, what's wrong. So yeah, we back at that. I said, so y'all had 3, 4, 5 days, however many days it was, of goodness. And you just gonna sit in the pocket now? I mean, do you wanna come up out of that? And she really wasn't able to answer that, or at least she didn't choose to answer it. Because she would prefer to just play the waiting game. Many of you, that's a pattern, and we need to interrupt that pattern where you get mad or you get irritated or you just tap out, and we got to stop doing that. For many people who are on the receiving end of the silent treatment, it feels like you're punishing your partner. Your partner feels like you're punishing them. You're trying to do that. You want them to make them feel the weight of the words that you will not say, that you're not going to say anymore. You want them to feel that heaviness. And a lot of times, I will say, I think for people who are getting quiet, you oftentimes feel powerless. So you use your silence as a way to regain control, to regain control of the situation, to regain control of some attention, to regain control of the narrative, whatever's going on. So You get your power back that
But
way.
it's unconscious though. So
Oh
so
yeah,
I
like we
can.
don't even know that we're doing that.
I mean, I can definitely speak to that piece right there because I know in conversing with a number of men,
Mhm.
um, you know, we may intentionally or unintentionally enter into the silent treatment. Stonewalling is the more technical term. But doing that from a place of, I don't feel as though whatever I say will be received. And so I feel like,
You tapping out.
you know, no matter what I lift up, no matter what perspective I provide, you're not receptive to it. You're not hearing me. You're not feeling me. And there's some type of rejection. There's some rigidity. There's some
Mhm.
deflection. There's some like dismissal and denial. And so again, I feel powerless. And whatever my words are, it feels as though they're hitting on deaf ears. And so, you know, again, it's like, you know, what do I do? What do I do? And so what I do is I retreat. I fall back and I enter into my silent space because that's where it's safe.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Let me tell you something about that. And I really do think that, you know what I'm saying, like that's just like you just tapping out. You are that's some that's some punk ass stuff. You know what I'm saying? I'm just gonna be honest.
Say some more about that.
And the reason I say that, y'all, I'm not coming for anybody. We've all been there. I don't. Yeah, I've been there. I've been there. I've gotten silent every now and then, but it ain't that often.
It's
Um,
really not that often.
it's not that often at all. I'm like, have I? But I have been there. I
Can't
mean,
do that because we can't see YouTube.
oh my bad. So the reason I say that though, y'all, honestly, really and truly, is because when I talk to people about this, and folks are like, yeah, I mean, I'm just not gonna continue to try to keep having the same conversation. Well, what is the motherfucking alternative? Why is it that we're not going to continue to have the same conversation? Like, if you really think about what you're saying, I understand pausing, I understand taking a time out, but like, so where are we going then? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's the pathway forward? So I'm just gonna pause. I'm just gonna stop. I'm just not gonna do it. Lord be offense. Look, let me tell you something. Get off my mic. This man, he don't like the fact that he said I speak over the mic like this, and I'm doing it right now.
My wife's
He
throat be
wants me
talking
to
to the
talk
mic.
like this
I
into the
don't.
mic
I'm just saying, make sure
and
the
say
mic
it
is
like
in
this.
front
Y'all
of
don't
you.
want me in y'all ear
No,
like that, do y'all?
I'm just saying, like, just make sure the
You
mic
the
is in
mic
front
man,
of
put the
you.
mic where you want it.
You be like talking with the mic at your throat. Like, what are you
Back to what
doing?
I was saying. Back to what I was saying. Lord have mercy. I was like wondering why you was staring at me like that. We got to get out of that mindset, and I know that that's a mindset that a lot of people have. It's a feeling that a lot of people have. Okay, but here's the thing: at the end of the day, you have to stay engaged. You have to continue to have the conversation. You can't tap out because you're like, I'm just tired. We all tired. The difference between successful and unsuccessful couples, the difference between successful and unsuccessful wives and husbands and girlfriends and boyfriends and people in relationship is the people who don't give up. Isn't that the same in life? The people who are successful in life, they keep working on their finances and they keep working on their health and they keep working on their mindset. They keep working on their spirituality and their relationship with God. They keep working. They don't give up. They don't give up. It's the same thing. So why do we think like I'm just I'm just done. And a lot of times what is happening for people unconsciously is you're like testing. You're testing your partner to see if they care enough to break the silence.
Mm-hmm.
You shut down and you want them to break it.
Mm.
Self-absorbed, if I ever heard it. If I ever synced it. You know what I'm saying? So I just think we have to pay attention to some of the ways that we can kind of get into our kid behavior. And we got to grow ourselves up in real time. And we got to engage. We got to engage. So
can I advocate for the other side? Can I advocate for the other side?
Why you want to advocate? Because that's the side you be on.
Yeah, it is a side that I be on.
What's that side
And I mean, the side is one where I may need to take a little bit of time. I need to press pause. I need to retreat. I need to gather myself. And
But that's okay. We're not talking about.
Okay, so I just want to lift that up. Yeah.
Pause is different than to shut down, use a silent treatment, be
Yeah.
testing somebody to see
Okay,
if they're gonna
so-
come over to you.
Yeah.
Walking around, not saying nothing, keep.
So I'm
walking back
glad
and
that we're
forth
making
past
the
person.
distinction.
You want them to see you.
Yeah, I'm glad that we're making a distinction. So what we're speaking about is chronic. It really would be chronic neglect in a relationship. where you are engaged in a silent treatment for an inordinate amount of time,
You could be engaged for like a day, and that's still, the silent treatment too.
yeah, but sometimes people need to take a beat and take a breather and just catch their breath, gather their thoughts. And so, to disrupt that, y'all. So for those of y'all who may be in that space where this is what you do, I strongly encourage you to, number one, speak on it. Lift it up and say that this is what you're doing before you do it. So it's not an abrupt dismissal or at least abandonment of the or abandoning of the conversation. So say what you're going to do, and then also lift up when you're going to revisit the conversation. So this is an antidote right here, because far too often what people do is they just stonewall and they just tap out, and there is no end in sight because you haven't specified when you'll be revisiting the conversation. So make sure you're clear about that piece right there. The other thing that I want to say is, if your man requests or your woman requests space, requesting space is not an invitation to chase. That was a bar, wasn't it? Requesting space is not an invitation to chase. Honor him, y'all. Fellas, honor your woman. Again, if he or she needs to take a breather, it can be for the mental, emotional, and physical well-being of you, him, and the relationship. And so honor that. Honor that.
So I see a couple comments. Brooke, I see you on YouTube. I appreciate your comments. And so I just want to highlight, she said, it's not insanity, talking about the same things and getting the same results. So I love that you asked that question. Talking about the same things is not insanity. Talking about the same things in the same way, locked in the same pattern, with the same approach, and not making a different move in how you do things, that's insanity, right? But talking about the same things is what grown folks do. It's what people who are negotiating life together do. They keep coming back together until they can figure it out. But if you're doing something that keeps disrupting, for example, the conversation, somebody feels disrespected or somebody keeps shutting down, you keep doing that same approach, right? Then something is off with the dance, something is off with the approach to the conversation. But having the same conversation is something that, people do. I mean, let's just think about the important decisions that get made in life and in business. And they don't have one and done. They have to look at this thing many ways, many angles. They've got to think about it on a Monday and talk about it on a Tuesday and sleep on it on a Wednesday, come back on Thursday, talk about it again. You know what I mean? Like, it has to be massaged. So I want us to think about our approach. And we're talking tonight about this approach that many people take consciously and unconsciously, which is the silent treatment. And then I saw also the comment around, my partner may sometimes go into the silent treatment. Y'all, I hear this a lot. And I don't even know what they're mad about. And I don't even feel like coming over here and trying to tap you on the shoulder because I don't even know what's wrong. Like, what is going on? Like,
that's that dumbassness, right?
You know what I'm saying? But that happens a lot. That happens a lot. So I just want to say to the person who's like, I'm tired, like, I don't need, like, I don't want to go over there and start the daggone conversation. Number one, I feel you. But I encourage you to do it if and when you can. And I say if and when you can because it does get heavy. Like, I'm not about to come tapping you all the time and you keep shutting down and I don't even know what the hell is going on, right? Sometimes you may need to go and have a conversation and say, I notice you're back in this space. I noticed that, do you know that you do this? You're doing it again. I do want to know what's going on with you, but it's difficult for me because it feels unfair to me. And I just want you to know that I see it, but I can't engage with it right now. And you can let them know. And then keep it moving. And hopefully, you all will be able to come back together later. But somebody got to break the daggone ice. Somebody got to have a conversation. Yeah. Doesn't mean you have to go and be like, hey, what's going on over here, buddy? You know what I mean? You don't have to do that all the time because that is unfair. But life isn't always fair. and marriage is not 50-50. So sometimes you have more insight, you have more capacity, you have more ability, you have more self-awareness, and you have more awareness of even your partner's stuff. And therefore, you should move forward and address what you see because we can only do what we're able to see and address what we're able to see. And many times we are ahead of our partner in many ways, just as our partner is ahead of us and others.
Danielle said, what if they say requesting space is controlling the conversation? They very well may say that. But as was made, the statement that was made earlier, grow the fuck up. And so in one respect, if you're repeatedly doing that, and if it's at an inopportune time, then I can see how it might be you attempting to control the conversation. However, if you're not doing it repeatedly and you do need to take a breather and you do need space, then to me, that can be a manipulative way to try to keep you engaged in the conversation. And they're trying to guilt you to remain in it when really what you need to do is take a break.
So it's two things two tips I want to give you about that. When we have, when we want to do these kinds of things, you have to set your communication up and your relationship up in such a way that your partner is not just hearing that for the first time when y'all are in the midst of the conversation. So when there's not an issue, when y'all ain't having no deep conversation or whatever, you just say like, hey, I was watching, Blam the other night, or I was, thinking about how we can, sometimes we might need to do a tap out. Maybe that's not what you got to do. But I know sometimes I need to do that. I need a
Sticky
little
word.
space. So can we like, let's give each other permission to be able to do that. And so you have to just introduce that, not for the very first time in the moment, because people are like, oh, you just trying not to talk about it. I mean, I would probably be like that.
Yes, you
and
would.
you still gonna feel like that. The person's still gonna feel like that when you do it, even though you talked about it ahead of time. But if at least you all agree to it and you talk about it when there's no energy between y'all are chill, y'all are good, which most people don't take the time to do. Most people don't take the time to bring up stuff like that when things are all good, because you feel like just bringing that up is gonna cause some issues, so we don't even want to talk about it. But that's the time to do it. That's gonna help you. And then secondly, the piece that you need to bring up again when things are well and good and chill is if somebody's taking the time out, or maybe it's just one partner that does that and needs that more than the other person. Like, so it's important for them to say when they're going to come back. So if you need a time out, like, well, let's agree on like what you need to be able to tell me at that time when you can come back, or maybe not at that time. But by the end of the day, you need to be able to circle back and say, hey, can we come back together, tomorrow, and we can talk about it or whatever. So y'all need to discuss that. I think if you do that, those couple of things, that takes a little more effort. It takes more intentionality, but it actually works. It really does work.
So I'm curious to know whether or not it's helpful for you all to know what they're saying when they give the silent treatment, or do you even care? Like, do you care what they may possibly be communicating when they're giving the silent treatment? You can type a yes or no in the chat. Or are you focused on the impact? Like, this is what it feels like to me. So we're going to share some of the ways that it may feel to you when you're getting the silent treatment. But, do you even care? And so I see
Yes.
folks are saying both. And so my assumption is that it's helpful to understand why they're doing what they're doing. Nevertheless, they're still doing it. And it sure don't feel good. And so what are some possible ways that you might be feeling? When it comes to you experiencing the silent treatment. And so one of those things that for those of y'all who are masters at stonewalling and the silent treatment, what your partner may feel is that they may feel like I'm invisible. You don't see me. I'm not here.
Right.
And I don't matter. And so it's almost as if like your silence is erasing their presence. And that's unhealthy. Like, there's a negative impact that goes along with that. And so do you want your partner to feel invisible? Do you? Do you want your partner to feel like they're not seen?
Sometimes people do.
That you're erasing their presence? Like that is that's so detrimental to the relationship, because if I'm not seen, if I'm not here, if I'm invisible, then what do I offer? What value do I bring? Another thing that somebody may possibly feel is like, I got to walk on eggshells. I've heard this so much. So when you give the silent treatment, it's like you're so hypersensitive that you shut down at a moment's whim. And so I have to walk on eggshells around you, which means that I can't authentically be me. And that's damaging. So really, you're in a relation, you would prefer to be in a relationship with a facade versus being in a relationship with the real me. I'm going to have issues with you, bruh. I'm going to have issues with you, sis. And in our relationship dynamic, if you want us to grow If you want to grow personally, if you want me to grow, then we got to be able to bring our most authentic selves so we can rub up against each other and then elevate and break through. That's what's required. That's what's required. And not only are you possibly, feeling these feelings when it comes to the silent treatment, but you also may, your partner may be having feelings like, I'm not worth the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
That's very dismissive, y'all. For your woman or for your man to feel like they're not worth your time, bruh, sis. Like, that's what you do to children. Go over there in the corner. Go sit down somewhere. Let me turn my back on you. Let me continue reading my book when you're attempting to talk to me. Let me keep on walking so you can look at the back of my head when you're attempting to engage me. Like, that right there is so dismissive. For your man or your woman to feel like they're not worth your time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. A lot of times people feel like they're stuck in uncertainty. And, your partner has the key to your clarity, and you want clarity, but you're not getting clarity, you're just getting quiet. And, I think sometimes the person who is shutting down, they're so absorbed into what they're dealing with and how, a lot of times people don't realize, and I've talked about this a lot in some sessions I've had with different people. I've been seeing this really as a theme, and with men, that this shutting down the stuff a lot of times has to do with managing anxiety. They're managing anxiety. I want y'all to really think about that. And that's not just a man thing. I'm just saying I've been noticing that in some of my sessions with some of the men, like, what's going on here? So they're really having, some anxious feelings. It may not be even about something with them and their partner. It may be about something that's happening in their world, because life be lifing. But in order to manage that, they're shutting down. And, your partner is just feeling isolated. It creates a lot of distance. You feel alone. I've heard a lot of people, but lately hear a lot of women say, I just, I'm feeling like, shoot, like, this is like what it feel like to be single, because I'm by myself. I'm by myself. And oftentimes the person who can draw a bridge or make a bridge for the both of you to cross to get back to one another is not just the person who's done the shutdown. It is the person who's being shut out. That's a hard pill to swallow. That's a hard pill to swallow. That's a hard pill to swallow. I'm just saying that again. I know some of y'all don't want to hear it, but I'm just gonna keep it real. Like, if you're a person who does this shutdown stuff, know that I love you when I say this. You're immature. You have to work on your emotional regulation. You perhaps have a hard time with feeling your feelings, the intensity of those feelings. You have a difficult time perhaps making room for other people. It's hard for you to kind of be able maybe to stand in your truth and just stand in it and sit in it, even though somebody is sharing, namely your partner is sharing something that directly contrasts with that. There's a certain level of emotional maturity. There's a certain level of, internal fortitude you have to deal with that level of conflict and just be in it and still make room for the other person, but still be where you are. And then also allow yourself perhaps to be influenced and impacted, because things aren't black and white, and maybe you can see what your partner is saying. When people shut down, they have not yet mastered the ability and the skills, the emotional skills, the strategic communication skills to be able to do that. So just think about that for y'all who have these folks who get silent. They don't know how to do it. And so for me, bless his heart. Bless his heart. Okay. Now I'm messing with my baby, but
What you about to say?
I will say for real, you don't really shut down like that no more. I mean, that's once in a blue moon. But in general, you are more quiet. you take a longer to process your internal, right? And so I used to get really mad. I'm saying all this to say I used to get really mad and irritated and all of these things that we're talking about. I felt a lot of those things. And now I really do, like, I have a genuine acceptance that Ayize in some places has not yet built up the emotional fortitude. And I'm not going on you. You ain't gotta like that. This is the truth.
What are you saying?
Just like you don't have it. So if somebody doesn't have it, it's not an
Don't have what?
excuse. Okay, I'm saying what's my saying? I'm saying some of the things I'm talking about, right? I'm not trying to talk about you specifically right now, but if the person doesn't have the internal kind of a DNA, they have not built up a certain level of discipline or familiarity with great discomfort, with dealing with somebody who has a contrasting perspective and point and who's not going to maybe bend, but they have to learn how to kind of sit with them. If perhaps they feel like just because somebody else is in a different place, they feel like they're not being heard. Versus being able to see that there's room for both perspectives. Any number of things, all the stuff I just said, you have to work through that thing. You know what I'm saying? You have to
Are you
build
talking about me?
capacity. I'm just using you as an example. You focus on yourself like a mug.
I just want to know, like, where.
I'm saying my point, y'all, is that so oftentimes I will go have the conversation. I will go start it anyway. I will bring the thing up. And I used to be sitting like this mofo, you know what I'm saying, just mad. And then, trying to, like really kind of puffing my ego up, like, I got to do this and I got to do that. And half the time I was right. But that doesn't, like get rid of the fact that like I could sit here and be stuck on that, or I could go over here and start the conversation. Or I could go over here and say, if I'm not willing to just start the conversation and be all empathic and, soft because I'm just not in that place, to just go and not go, but just be like, I'm really having a hard time with how I'm experiencing you right now, and I'm bringing it to him. I'm not going to stay in over here and just wait for you to come out. I'm come to you, and I'm gonna bring this forward. So many times we are participating with that behavior of the silent treatment because we are like, well, if you quiet, I'm quiet. You ain't saying nothing, I ain't saying nothing. Well, if you're doing that, then I'm just going on about my business. And sometimes we do have to do that. I'm not saying that it's all the time right or wrong, but there are many times when we have an opportunity, those of us who do have capacity to do more, to engage more, but our ego will not allow us because we are hurt. And I'm saying you can be hurt and you can articulate that and engage. You can do those things together. You can do those things together. You don't have to mimic their behavior because that ain't even you. That ain't even you. You just kind of just taking on their behavior. You don't have to do that. You can model and be like, I'm fucked up with you too at the same time. You know what I mean? You can do both. So I've had to learn that over time. And I think that that's something that we need to do because then we just stay in this stuck place. And I'm like, sis, you can go break that up.
Yeah.
Right. It's not on you, but I'm not saying it's like all on you, but I'm just saying that whoever got the most insight is obligated to use it.
That's good. That's good. Like we really do get in the way of ourselves and we be stuck for, it's not that there's no reason, but sometimes we exacerbate and extend it unnecessarily when we could just do something and disrupt it. And I find that women far too often are growing more and more comfortable with being stuck and doing nothing.
We were saying women with the men, so could the men been like that? Why you didn't say the men? Because the women starting to follow suit?
Yeah. Y'all are like mimicking some of the behavior that we as men have exhibited, and y'all are like, if you're gonna be there, then I'm gonna be there too. But then what ends up happening? And real talk, like this is where, and typically I wouldn't even say this, and so correct me if I'm stepping out of bounds here, but this is some of that wisdom that grandma and great grandma had. And it's not to say that they was all happy and everything was peaches and cream, but there's something that they knew. Because in the midst of this,
What your grandma and great grandma told you?
No, I'm just saying, like I be watching movies. And in the midst of
That's what the
dissatisfaction,
movie grandmother said.
in the midst of dissatisfaction, in the midst of dis-ease, they would still fix him a plate, make sure he had his shoes, his slippers. And I mean, I see real life examples of this even today. And so again, I'm lifting this up because there's a way to still connect and still make bids for connection in the midst of like, I'm not really messing with you right now, but I'm gonna do this because I love you.
That's a different kind. That's a different. You're talking about something different, but yeah.
Yeah. I'm just saying, but a lot of times women, they like, I ain't doing nothing.
I'm just saying, go in and had a conversation. I ain't say get his slippers and put some greens on the plate. I ain't say all that. I just said you can go ahead and conversation. I'm not saying that's wrong either, but that's just not what I was
I had a
saying.
conversation with the greens, with the cherry pie. Like, it's all good with the cup of tea.
Yvonne said in the chat, I think she said this to us talking when you said that, you know, women you're finding now are like okay with being stuck. You're starting to mimic your men's behavior. And she said because we women start accepting bad behavior.
Yeah. You ain't gotta accept it.
Spot on.
Yeah, you don't. You don't. I was gonna say something. So two things, y'all. So if you have not already registered, go to blamchallenge.com.
Register for
BLAM
what?
for the Overcoming Generational Curses in Black Relationships 5-day challenge. Make sure you do that. It's happening next week. We're kicking it off on Monday.
Yes.
Upgrade the VIP, fam, so you can get access to all of the resources and then also the after parties too. So go to blamchallenge.com. If you on YouTube, go to blamchallenge.com. If you are part of the Blamly, you haven't registered yet, make sure you do that. There was one more thing that I was going to lift up, you know, as it pertains. Oh, the second thing, and I mentioned this earlier today. For those of you who have a heart for really understanding the significance of this work in terms of relationships and the impact that dysfunction can have on your children, go see.
Oh my gosh, such a good movie.
Yeah, what's the name of it again?
It's called and no, I ain't
The
never
Sound of
heard
Hope.
of it.
Go see The Sound of Hope.
The story
Yes.
of Possum Trot.
Yeah.
Trot. Do anybody know what we talking about? Do anybody know about this
I asked
movie?
some of the Blamly earlier during expert office hours,
know?
and one D'Angelo knew. Coach D'Angelo.
D'Angelo,
but
did you watch it though? Did you go see
she saw it, yeah.
Oh my Lord, I love that movie.
Go see that movie, y'all. Go see that movie. It will definitely tug on your heartstrings, and it will help to expand your compassion for what it looks like to go through a transformational journey, whether it be you and your partner, whether it be you and your children, whether it be you and your parents. Like, it's not easy. It's not easy. And it's called
The Power of Community.
The Power of Community. That's what I was referencing to Blamly
Not
earlier.
doing
Like,
it alone.
yeah.
Oh, let me type it. It's called what's that called?
I just said it.
The Sound of Hope.
Yeah.
It's called The Sound of Hope, the story of Possum Trot, and it's based on a true story. And I'm gonna tell you a little bit. I'm not gonna tell you a lot. I'm just saying it's based on. Well, I'm not gonna tell you because I don't want y'all to. It's good. It's good. Just go see it.
That's powerful.
It's really about relationship. Oh, good. I think Tanisha just put a link. It's so good, but it's like it's quiet as kept out here.
It really
We
is.
went to the movies in Waldorf. I guess it was on a
2 nights ago.
Weeknight.
Yeah,
But it
Tuesday.
wasn't nobody but me, my husband, and our oldest son in that joint. I was like, ain't nobody in this joint.
And he's an actor, and he was saying that
He was
the
looking up the actors
performances
and the thing like, who
are
these
phenomenal. Yeah.
people? So good. So good.
That's a really good movie.
But it really does bring home the power of community. And, you know, that's such a cliche now, but of not being by yourself, of like, you know, finding people who can get in the dirt with you and understand like what you're going through, what you're dealing with. Yeah, and there were free tickets on certain days. We were trying to find out. I think that's what Tanisha just put in the chat in the Zoom room, like that. And you can look, you can find they were gifting tickets, so you might even be able to find some free tickets. Sound of Hope, the story of Possum Trot is based on a true story. Regular, you will love it. You will love it. I know you would.
Yeah.
So check.
Make sure
that
Kevin
out.
go too though.
Check that out. Okay, guys. I think we are complete. Let's see if I usually say, but one more. Let me say, I got 3 more points because no, just playing.
Nah, we good.
Yes, go see it, and then tell me regular. I know you would love it. Yes. Oh, you would just love it. So anyway, I want to see it again. That's how bad.
Yeah,
that's how
I do
good it is.
too.
I want to see that, and I want to see the Wolverine Deadpool thing.
But yeah, that's not. Yeah, go see. Go see this right.
Yeah, go see
Sound
this.
of Hope.
So good, so good. It's powerful. It's too,
And
it's
if
too
you're
hard to
in,
describe.
if you're a social worker, if you're a
It don't even
clinician,
matter. You just a
if you're a
black
parent,
person
yeah,
who
yeah.
just been through some things and seen some
If you in the
things.
church, like, yeah, go see it, yo.
I was in that jump like, all right, everybody. I think we are. Yvonne, you better go to sleep. Yvonne talking about we need some points. Okay, y'all. We will see you next week for the challenge. Those who are in the DMV, we are going to the African American Museum of History and Culture on August the 4th. ATL, we are coming to you next month. That will be shared soon, where we're going to get together in Atlanta, Georgia. But again, August the 4th. Is the African American Museum of History and Culture. I guess I should be putting the link in here, but I ain't got it right now, so I'm just telling y'all. So hopefully everybody's on the list. Also look in our Facebook group that is open to the public, but we have limited tickets, all right? All right, blamchallenge.com. We will see y'all next week. Everybody be easy. Don't be on that silent treatment. Go speak, go talk, go share, disrupt it. Thank you